Dang uses humor to make light of experiences that are not so humorous for immigrants that experience them. When we read this book, we sometimes laugh at the painful experiences of the characters. Do you think this humor is appropriate? Explain your thoughts. And I said I think it is appropriate, even though we laugh and it makes us realize that like what we're laughing at is wrong, and it's like kind of a nervous laugh because on like page like 110 and around that when I forget his name, I think Danny's Chinese cousin came to school and everyone was like laughing at him and like making fun of him how like he answered every question. Just I don't know, that was just one example.
I think humor is appropriate because it kind of shows people that how ridiculous the stereotypes are. Kind of makes them laugh at it and realize how stupid they are. For example, page 31, I think I already mentioned this, when the teacher was also ignorant and agrees with the student saying that they eat dog in China.
I feel like the use of humor was appropriate for the most part because it shows you some things that are true, yet some things that aren't really true, and or some things that aren't really nice. Because an example is page 124, panel 2, when Amelia tells Danny he has bug teeth. He should go see an orthodontist.
I agree with Mario. Like, part of it is just to show like how ridiculous the stereotypes are, and then I think like it's okay for it to be like humorous because I feel like they're making stereotypes about like honestly like almost every race in this, like in the book, like even like the big white dude who's on the basketball team, like even.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. I thought it really brought like an emphasis to the stereotypes, like just showing like this is wrong and like it's not right and things like that, especially with Jim's cousin. There was a lot of times that happened.
Yeah, I agree. I think like for the most the most part the humor was appropriate, like page 96, panel 2, when those two white kids were making like fun of Jin and his friends saying I had like goot bumps and stuff. Because it like really gets a point across, because it shows Jin and his friends in the background like how upset they are, and it just like it shows like a good point to get across that it like even if like you're joking and stuff, it really does hurt people and can affect them.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like when they're talking about Chinky, like just like the way they even show how he talks. I don't know, I feel like it kind of just was like funny to me. I don't know why, but like on page like 48, when like he first comes to town and he's like coming in and just like screaming like how he tries to say like hello and stuff. I think that was supposed to be funny, and I think it was like appropriate because it still shows like the stereotypes. So I thought that was like a good way to show it.
I agree with that. Like at the beginning, I kind of thought it was a little awkward because you didn't really understand where the book was going with it. And on 48, I walked in like all the mispronunciation and like the typical words that you hear in like movies and stuff that Chinese people mispronounce.
I agree with how you thought it was like kind of awkward because when you first read, you're not sure if like they're trying to be funny or not.
I also think it was important, like after doing all these stereotypes, to wrap it up on page 213 when like he became, I forget, Danny or whatever, became back Asian, and like to realize that you can't really be happy unless you're like your truth self, and if you're like just acting like someone else, that it's just not going to work out in the end.
I agree. I think they kind of did make fun of his accent a little bit because he said America instead of America, so that's a good example.
I felt like they may have added too much humor into this. Like when it got serious, like when Danny started like throwing his cousin across and like slapping him, it was still showing that like sitcom applause stuff and like laughing, even though that was like the most serious part of the book.
Yeah, like going off of that, like on page 116, like or in a lot of the pages, like with the chapter with Chinky, like on the bottom, like in red, it says like ha ha ha, like but like the sitcom. I thought was kind of interesting. Like that's the only chapter that has that. Like the one with Monkey King, it doesn't have that type of feel towards it.
That was on every page of that chapter, right?
Yeah.
Every single time it was, yeah.
You guys think the Chinky was like not appropriate? Like if we didn't have like that part at the end where we like see it's the Monkey King and it's just like a racial stereotype and all that lesson, do you think it was inappropriate because it was just pretty much making fun of Asians like the whole time.
I think it's actually fine because I think the author was trying to show what a lot of people thought and how weird it was what they thought. Because if you look at it, you know that's not what an Asian person looks like.
Yeah, like on page 114, when he was eating like the cat and stuff, I thought that was like the furthest you could go with that almost.
I feel like the point of that dude's character is just to like show like if all these stereotypes are true, like how ridiculous it would be.
See, my favorite one was when, I think, page 48, when he comes in, his luggage is in Chinese cartons, and I found that really funny.
I just realized this right now. I don't know why I thought of this. But even on the last page, on the last page when he's talking, it's like Jin and Wei Chen, and they're like in the I don't even know where it was. Was it like a coffee shop, whatever?
It was like, yeah.
And then I looked like this, like it just came to my mind. Like the writing on it was Chinese too, which still was like a stereotype that they only eat like.
But it was
Yeah.
a bubble tea shop. It was like an Asian place.
It was like a Chinese kind of restaurant, I think.
Chinese.
I don't know
it was
why I
like a
just
Chinese
thought of that.
cafe. I think with having like the different chapters, so with like Chin Ki, they were kind of like making fun of it the whole time. But when they had like Jin and everything, they showed how like upset everyone got. Like on page 33, one of the guys bullying Jin went, "Come on, let's leave Bucktooth alone." But when they like brought up Chin Ki that he had the buck teeth, but they like made fun of him with it. So I think he showed like the differences between how it like made people like upset, and you could feel that it made people upset, between like you thinking it's comic relief.
I found it interesting how, like, you know that one dude with the curly hair who, like, told
Yeah.
him not to go out with that Amelia
Yeah.
girl? He was the one who's, like, tried to stop the dude from bullying Jen in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then he changed and started, like, becoming more racist. So I found that change interesting.
Maybe he's like, he isn't racist in that regard, but he is kind of subtly racist, because I think there's a difference in different types of
He
racism.
was, like, telling him to not, like, pick on
Yeah.
Jen, and then he straight up said that Amelia shouldn't hang out with him because he's Asian.
Well, it might have just been like he was trying to protect her from other people making fun of them. And it wasn't like him being racist, he was afraid of other people's
I think
racism.
that's still racist, though.
I
It
think
is
he
a
was
little.
looking to it more as like popularity
That's what I was thinking.
than he was looking at it for racism. That's what I think it was.
Was he your brother or just a friend?
He wanted to grow with her. That's what I thought.
I like how the author, I think it was page like 82 with the hair, where he showed it but without words. I liked how they changed the character like throughout the chapters, but you didn't really notice that he was changing to fit in. At the beginning, like you could kind of see like the hair stuff, but then throughout the book, like when he changed identities and the whole time, like it was another chapter, like you didn't notice that, but it's kind of like you realize it at the end.
I really liked how some parts of the book, when it like really emphasized the stereotypes that were being projected onto Jin and like his friends, like all the writing would show humor, like there'd be laughter and people would be joking around, but like the pictures really helped you understand that that moment wasn't meant to be a joke, it was meant to be a hurtful comment.
I agree with that. There were some pages that were like a lot more, like if it was in a normal book, you wouldn't really realize that he wasn't meaning to be funny, and then there were parts that were supposed to be funny.
Yeah, I think like a graphic novel, it helps us connect more with the characters, their emotions and everything.
Anybody else want to talk? You got 50 seconds. Else we can move to the next one.
Just move on.
Alright,